living in a simulation. This is not real life.
It's actually...
Hey, I'm your host Alexis.
And I'm your co-host Truk.
Sit back and relax because you're
in good company.
Hey guys, so this week's episode is actually a topic that Truk helped bring to life. So I'm going to let her introduce it.
Yeah, so if you've been online for the past couple of years, I'm pretty sure you've all experienced this whole nostalgia wave where brands are, bringing back their old retro looks, or a lot of shows are rebooting and kind of really appealing like the Gen Z and millennial audience towards things that happened in the early 2000s. I feel like the main target audience is more typically younger millennials, older Gen Z. I don't know, what are your thoughts based on what you've seen?
No, I definitely agree with that. And I think it's just because there are things that are more nostalgic for us already,
right?
Versus like Gen Alpha that it's still very much their generation.
Yeah, Gen Alpha is kind of living in their supposedly nostalgic era.
Like
they'll be nostalgic about now. Later.
They're going to be nostalgic about iPads.
Oh my god.
That's going to be it. Like,
no,
think about it.
Because I was going to say, why do you think the early 2000s is so popular right now? Because everybody's hopping on, like, what you brought up before our pod today, old iPhones.
Okay, just quickly explaining this because I have been chronically online, and it's so interesting because I've been seeing on TikTok that people are talking about, like, oh, I want like aesthetic photos for the summer, but I can't afford a digicam, and they're pulling out their old iPhones, or they're buying old iPhones for very cheap, like iPhone 5s, and they're out here taking photos like it's so 2016 summer.
Like they want that vintage filter without editing the filter on top of it.
Crazy to me. Like, what? We're living in a simulation. This is not real life.
It's actually really funny because I came over to my sister's room one day, and I literally saw like a bunch of our family's old iPhones on the table, and I was like, what are you doing? She was like, oh, I was just like playing with the cameras. And here's the thing, when digicams started becoming popular, I pulled out my family's 2014 like handheld camera. And I was like, yeah, this is it. Like, I'm chill now. But now
I've never seen you with it.
Hopping in. Girl, because I'm really bad at taking pictures. I bring it around occasionally, but I don't typically pull it out.
Interesting.
Girl, side comment, I went to New York recently, brought the camera with me. I think I took 2 photos with it.
You're boring me. Why would you say that?
Because Alexis is our resident Digicam user.
Guys, if you were in my exclusive club called Instagram, you would know. And to those that are in it, you know.
Oh my god. But like, what other traits do you think of like the early 2000s do you think is popping back right now?
Okay, I will see from what I've seen and what I've personally experienced. And I think part of it is just, I'm seeing it online, and then I'm like, wait, I do want that back. Like, I actually like that.
Yeah.
It's very much MP3 players, like
MP3
players,
yes.
Especially with Spotify
like
getting
walkers,
more expensive, like Walkmans.
That's what they're called.
Yes, but not even just that, like legit MP3 players. I used to have one, the iPad Nanos, like all these.
I had a Hannah Montana one.
Oh my gosh! Wait, was it from
Disney?
Yeah,
it was like a tiny little Disney little thing.
Was it like?
It's tiny. It was like a little iPod.
Because I had one, and it was like the Mix Max or something, or some. I don't know, it was something fun, and it literally had like Tinkerbell in the back, and y'all, it's a music player.
That's
and
cute.
I pulled it out. I've had this since I was 5 years old. Like, I've held on to this, and I pulled it out, and of course I don't have a charger for it, so I have to go.
No, everything's changing to USB chargers now, which I do appreciate because it like works for everything, but all old tech is like,
bro, it's like the thick square ones, and I'm like, what are they don't even sell this respectfully. But anyway, like, getting back on topic, I will say I have mostly seen like, or a craving for me, because my phone was broken, guys, when I was out of town. It was broken, it was miserable, and I was really it was miserable because I couldn't talk to like my friends, my parents a lot, my sister a lot. But the thing that really like besides that was I couldn't listen to music, and I'm like, bro, if I just owned an MP3 player, which I did, I'd be chilling right now, like genuinely. And it just had me really thinking about the things that we take for granted and everything being in one device. I'm like, my phone battery is always like running out because what am I on here listening to music for half the time, and I'm like, I could just. And I had it, and I lost my MP3 player. I wanted to find that everywhere, and all I could find was my little Disney one. And I'm like, I guess this will have to do.
Honestly, though, I think people miss like the simplicity of life of having that like that cute, like, what is it, physical media for that one
Yes.
item. People be collecting vinyl, cassette tapes,
Wait.
CDs,
Let me
like
say, I also think I've seen a lot of people talk about how what we own isn't really ours anymore because we're going through these different ecosystems.
yes,
Like there was
yes.
this one mother and she had so many iTunes songs, like
Mm,
spent so much money, probably over 1,000 songs. And when she died, they revoked it all. Her kids didn't have access to any of it because they're like, that's her account and that's not
right.
your account. So sorry. Like even though if she had bought all these
Yeah.
CDs, like they could have had that. That would have been theirs forever.
Everything's like on a cloud now, right?
Yeah.
So if their systems go down, your things kind of go down with
I
it.
know there's like this fear of God forbid something happens and then I
Mm.
just lose access to things I love. Like I've been collecting vinyls since I was 13. I have so many now.
Ooh.
And I just think like I just like them. It's fun. But then I also think about the fact that I'm getting physical media, some of my favorite albums.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's something I don't want to take for granted
Yeah.
because I mean, it's also something like that's very just like comforting and feels just, I don't know, almost cool. I feel like that feels so like
But I think that's just because it's popular now. You know
but
what I
I've
mean?
been doing that since I was 13 though. So that's like
Yeah.
almost 10
But
years of
like
me
the
collecting.
coolness factor, you feel cool because it's trending now, but you've always had it.
Well, I don't know if it feels like cool. I think it just feels comforting to know that no
Mm.
matter what, I have access to this and you
Yeah.
can't take that away from me. It's in my home. I own it. This is
Yeah, yeah.
mine.
Yeah, no, for real. Because we've always, like, there's always going to be people online who, like, oh, yeah, I forgot the password to my account and I lost all the memories I
Oh my
had on
goodness.
there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's my fear too. Like, I'm very uptight about my passwords because I don't want to lose
Yeah.
all of my memories and stuff.
Like, oh my goodness, guys, I have tried to get into my old. I have two. I think I had two iPod touches. I had like I had the four, which I got rid of, and then I had the five and the six, I believe, before they stopped doing iPods. And one of the iPods I have, I can't remember the password, so I can't get into it. I can't
No,
get any of it. Like I literally
no.
can't get any of it. And I'm like, this is crazy, actually. Like this is
Yeah.
mine. I own this, and I can't get into it because I can't remember password. And y'all, if there's any text guys that know how to like bypass that, like I don't know. I made that password when I was like 11, and God forbid it's
Mm,
not in my memory anymore.
yeah, it just, those things just happen. And like, going back to like the whole music thing earlier, I just want to put my grievances out there that when my iPhone updated and some apps are not compatible with my phone anymore, I lost a bunch of my playlists that I had back
No.
in middle school, going into high
Yo.
school.
Bro. And can I
Literally, all my music was gone.
Yo, and I'm saying if we had these on a freaking MP3 player, light work, no reaction. Like,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah,
you break that MP3 player, then it's kind
bro.
of that's it.
I was hurt bad
I
because
know you were.
shuffle music and then I get a little nostalgic song
Oh
out of
my goodness,
nowhere. I
yes.
miss that because I don't get that
Yes. Oh, you
anymore.
poor thing. Bro,
Yeah.
I so feel that. I think there's this real fear that people are having, or just like the reality that
Mm.
these phones are not as permanent as we once
Mm-hmm.
believed. And the enjoyment, because I love using my digital camera, and I'm like, there's something about knowing that if I take this photo, it's not in the cloud. Like it's
Yeah.
only on my SD card, which is in my camera, which is like in my
Like
hands, and nobody
it's
has
yours.
access to that. There's
Yeah.
something so like,
Personal, intimate,
yes, but
maybe.
also just like, thank God, because I have a real fear of like, and this is so like not real, but something about growing up in the iCloud era and people getting leaked all the time. We're
Mm.
not saying we're nobodies, but we're like not, well known enough. But there's this fear. I'm like, what if I just get hacked? God forbid.
Girl, I knew a friend who just recently got hacked
No, because they
and
hack nobodies now.
yes,
They hack nobodies
I had a friend
now.
who like just recently got hacked and she was like, I'm changing all my passwords, da 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 da. And like here's the thing, online safety too, like my mom back in like 2000 whatever got hacked by her Facebook and like she had to delete the entire account and restarted a brand new one. So
No.
it's like there's a lot of information out there that is accessible that wouldn't be if it was in
Just
a different
right.
format.
Yeah, right. Because you imagine like all these different photos people take, it wouldn't be a problem if it was just on your SD card on your camera. Then you,
Yeah. But
right?
like times are changing,
I
and like
know. But like,
our
God forbid that.
standard
Yeah.
now is like cloud-based
Yes.
systems,
Yes.
cloud-based
Yes.
servers. And like it's interesting because I love technology, like genuinely, and I love the flexibility that cloud-based systems have that I can access my photos anywhere.
Yeah. And it
Like
all connects.
pros and cons to everything. I love the
Absolutely.
advancements in technology, but I see a lot of people are like looking back and they're like, "Oh my God, I miss this and that." And like,
I
It's an
think
interesting
the
topic.
frustration for some comes from the fact that you have to pay for the cloud and it's so expensive. And
Mm.
it's like, well, of course we're going to pay because we want access to our own memories, right?
People were talking about how back then we used to make one-time payments and we have the product, but
It's
now
every
it's a
month now.
subscription.
Like it can be up to $50 every single month
Hmm.
to like just access your own photos, which is crazy to
Yeah.
me. And I think like, that's one thing I really don't like about it. And then also it's not as safe as we think. Like I think it's too easily like hackable, which I don't
Mm.
like. But then of course there are pros and cons to everything that you do. And even I've seen people talk about how previous technology like looked more futuristic in some type of way. Like I think the
It's
early
because
2000s was
they
like
were dreaming of the future. Like
right.
it's called Y2K because it's year 2000.
Yeah,
It is
which
a
is T.
brand new like millennium, is it? Brand new
Sure.
brand new, not century, brand new millennium, I
Error.
believe.
I think it's so funny and ironic that certain technology of the past looks more futuristic than the technology now. And I mean, there's a real thing of people and companies, I think, kind of get lazy and the products don't really look visually interesting. And then you look at what they used to look like and you're like, this is so fun. Like, this is so unique.
Yeah.
It's so customizable. There was just more happening that made it feel more personal. And I even saw somebody and they got like, y'all, it's low key think of like a Blackberry, but not a Blackberry. And quite literally is, it's giving like iOS with the Blackberry system in it. And this person
Ooh,
was geeked out over it and they're texting and they're doing all these things. And I'm just like, wow.
that's
Because,
cute.
like, can I say, like, as a kid, when I was like four fifths, even middle school, what I wanted more than anything, like over a touchscreen phone or everything, I wanted a flip phone, like the ones where you flip and you
Mm,
text. That was my dream. Honest, it was literally my
yeah.
dream to own that.
You want the like the Motorola flip, flip.
No, not even that.
Which
They had
one?
phones that would be like this screen, and then you could flip it, and the screen it would come
Oh,
out
oh,
and
I
type
know
like
what you're
that.
talking about. I
And
know what
I
you're talking
I used to
about.
have my mom when I was in like middle school. I was like, don't even
Hold
get me an
on.
expensive phone. Like I would have her get me these old phones, and I remember I had like a pink one, and I don't know where they are. Like they must be gone, but they were T. And I'm like, low key, I was on this before anybody else. Like,
Mm.
am I a trend starter?
You just knew what was good.
Yeah, no, I used to get roasted for having that back in middle school, and they're like, "But girl, you could literally have a Samsung." I'm like, I don't want that. I want this. This is fun to me.
Mm.
I it was the good old. They were cute. They were so cute. I'm
Oh
getting
my
nostalgic,
God.
guys.
No, literally, like that feeling of like just, oh my God, we miss the past. Da 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 da. It's like that whole vibe. Because speaking, like just moving a little bit
Yeah.
forward, I noticed that there have been a lot of shows that have been rebooting. Have you noticed that?
Oh, absolutely. That
And
has
it's like
been a thing.
banking on everybody feeling like, oh my gosh, I used to watch this when I was younger. I want to have my younger nieces and younger nephews, younger cousins, or like younger family members hop on it like I used to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of toy lines are being re-released
Yeah,
too.
actually, that's a good point. I think it's more so one, they know it's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Two, some people really just want to recapture. They're like, oh, it hasn't been good since I was a kid. And they're like, maybe I can recapture it
Mm-hmm.
by this sequel, this reboot, or whatever it is. Though, on the other hand, I know people are frustrated. I know they just released, like, or they just announced, like, they're doing a Buffy remake. And I know
Mm.
some people were like,
It didn't
if
need
you're
to
gonna do it
happen.
again, like make it innovative. Like I know there's doing a Harry Potter reboot, and people are like, if you're gonna do this again, like you need to improve upon the material,
Exactly.
and they don't seem to be doing that, at least by casting decisions or like script decisions that people have been leaked. And
Exactly.
that's also the frustration is like, do it better. I know
Exactly.
they're doing, I think it's what was that one movie, Legally Blonde, but like
Oh yeah.
prior to her being in college. They're doing a
Oh, wait,
prequel.
they were doing that?
They're filming it,
Oh
and
my
people are talking about how
gosh.
like the costumes are not giving, like the quality. I
Wow.
know when Mean Girls came out, the musical, people were really underwhelmed by like just the
The
costuming, and they're like,
fashion, yeah.
you have these talented actors, these talented actresses, but you're not elevating all aspects of the material. You're
Mm-hmm.
just, it feels like you just want to make a quick buck. Of course,
Yeah.
a lot of the Disney movies, like we have the Lilo and Stitches, or even Moana too. People just feel like, is it coming from like I genuinely want to make this, or studios are It's safe.
Right.
It's a safe option
I
to
was
do.
like, yeah, this is where I wanted to take the conversation, and you brought it up perfectly about
Period.
how sometimes this wave of nostalgia is kind of like branded and pushed by bigger corporations,
Yeah.
and it's mainly there as a marketing tool
Yeah.
to sell,
And
and it's not
I
genuine.
think we touched on this briefly in one of our previous episodes or one of the episodes that got scrapped. Guys, I don't remember, but I do remember us somewhat talking about this and just the frustrations over the lack of like passion
Innovation,
that felt like it
yeah.
was being put into these projects because at the end of the day, it's like,
There's nothing new. I saw this TikTok which inspired this episode almost,
ooh,
and she was like a black content creator. She was making a magazine with her and her
oh,
friends,
I love
and
that.
she was like, I want to make a magazine that is Y2K inspired, but there were traits and values and conversations during the year 2000 that are not acceptable today, and I want to build upon
Mm,
that. I want to pull from the warm memories and like the nostalgia without the problematic
mm,
ties of the past.
I
And
love
that's
that.
and she was pushing how we have to innovate and do better if we do want to rebrand nostalgia. Our point of being, modern now, being present now is to make the changes that we want to see. So I was like, she ate that up.
Yeah,
And I
she
was
did for
like,
sure.
I love revisiting the past, seeing what's there, seeing it with rose tinted glasses because we do
Yeah.
see things in the past better, and kind of expanding on that.
I definitely agree. I do. I guess it's a disappointment that even if maybe people are doing that within their own inner circles or attempting to do that, like the mainstream, the people that you're going to see it the most from are not putting that
Right.
into practice, which is like, dang, like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I just wish different people were in charge of these things because when it's a hit, it really hits. And I'm trying to think of like examples of like quote unquote nostalgia baiting that like people really enjoyed or they reciprocated well because you could just tell
Mm-hmm.
that like the person wanted
Yeah.
to do it. I'm trying. I know there had to be
I don't
something.
have any like immediate,
Oh my
like,
god, I have one.
okay, perfect.
Okay, guys. I really enjoyed the Karate Kids growing up, and I remember YouTube
Oh,
Red did Cobra Kai,
oh my
and then it ended up
gosh.
being so popular. And I watched season one. Like I literally got a free trial of YouTube Red. I watched that show again and again. I literally would listen to podcast episodes on season one because I loved it so much. And like
Oh my gosh. And they put passion in
and
it.
then you could tell absolutely, and I think that was one thing that was received very well. Like outside of the cheesiness or like this feels unrealistic, you just knew that the people, the creators, and even the actors, like everybody was like, I want to do this if we're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I will say. I've never really seen a lot of people be like, this was a waste of money.
Mm.
Now I feel with the new Karate Kid, people are kind of like, okay, you're dragging it. But that series, I do remember being like, this is one of the few nostalgia pieces that I think builds upon this series in a way that's very satisfying.
Mm.
And you could tell it was for the fans. And I really did. Like that is one example that I'm like,
Period.
shout out Cobra Kai.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Wait, I love that because, like, instead of repackaging the past,
Yeah.
they're innovating for the
Yes,
future. And, like, I
absolutely.
feel like that should be the mindset that we take when it comes to, or at companies should take when it comes to, taking from nostalgic pieces because
Yeah.
we're not from
But
the
what I
2000s
think is very
anymore.
interesting, I've seen like interviews and the creators of the show talked about how they pitched the potential of the show or like what they wanted it to be to a lot of different platforms and they went with YouTube Red even though it had like no it didn't really have like a name behind it because YouTube Red was the only place that said we're gonna let you do what you want to do and we'll just put it on our site.
That's
And they had
amazing.
complete freedom in season one and I think that's really why season one to me it's like the best season. But I
Mhm.
think it's just because that was before other people were involved or maybe I don't know if Netflix played any involvement in like what they
Mhm.
could do or what they couldn't, but that was purely just a passion project that they
Yeah.
got to create and you can tell. And
Yeah.
guys, it's good. Like if you don't watch anything, just watch season one.
Okay. Her.
But I think that's fun. And that makes me excited. Like there it
Yeah.
does exist. So I do have hope, but I think it really depends on
Good
who is
media.
behind this.
Yeah, good media is gonna it's always gonna be there. You just have to
Right.
look for it because there's always gonna be those passionate artists that it's always exciting for us
Yeah.
consumers to like discover and find.
So
And
wait, I
yeah.
have a question. Are there any like franchises that you would want to see like a well done reboot or just like a spin off or like focus on different characters? Because I know there's one being done that I'm like Hoping to God is very good.
Oh,
That I like hold dear to my heart, and I need this to like if you don't continue it in a way, because also like I feel if I it doesn't continue in a way that I like, does that mean it's not good or it's just not for me anymore? I don't know. Like it's I'm
like is it
conflicted.
to a new audience or whatever?
Yeah, but I also
Yeah.
think it should appeal to the old audience because that's the reason you could even get
Hmm.
more story. But for me, it's Avatar because I know they're coming out with movies and a new
Yes.
series, and I'm very excited. But I'm also like nervous because I hold these characters so
Right.
close.
Like those characters have a lot of deep storytelling and
Yes,
world building behind them.
absolutely.
So when you bring up your concerns, I totally get it.
Right. I'm like,
Like
please, please, BT, like, please,
it's
guys.
a deep story. So yeah, I mean for me, a lot of the shows that I watch,
Or even like
I
books, like
books, yeah,
any media.
any like the media, the stories that I
Right.
consumed were very like wrapped up in a neat bow at the end,
Mm,
and I'm one to just have that story complete. Like
I
I
get
feel a
that.
little bit awkward opening it back up because sometimes stories be dragging it. Like
Yeah.
I be reading
Like,
some comics and
it's
they be
Webtoon?
yes, yes, and
It's like a mess out of
they be
I'm
dragging
sorry.
it, and I
It's
will be I
ridiculous.
will drop a
It's
story if you're dragging it.
ridiculous. Like genuinely it's ridiculous.
Oh my God, I'm on chapter 100 and we're still going, and there's a cliffhanger
Girl,
now.
not even chapter 100. It'd be chapter 300 and they're just repeating the same beats. Like,
It's just a cash grab, and I
gosh.
feel it as an audience member, and I'm just like,
And I've even seen someone make a video about how I think it was talking about like SpongeBob and like Family Guy and how they've just gone on for so long.
oh my God, wait, SpongeBob got a new season, no?
Yeah, like it's still, but I think Family Guy. I think the creator said it like season 7. I feel no, I think it was something about like when season 10 hit. He was like, I feel like maybe at season 7 it should have been done, and now it's going on for like who will
Mm,
know like at least season. I don't know. Like it has a lot of seasons. I think it's past 15 at this point. I'm gonna double check,
mm,
but I remember just like that. Some people were saying, is there a problem with not continuing a show or a product if it's still making money and people still
yeah,
enjoy it and it's still, people are getting employed by
yeah.
this. Like, why be against it? Y'all, wait. It's on its, bro.
20th?
Yo, it has over 500 episodes. That's crazy. It's about to hit 27
Oh my
seasons.
God.
They're like, oh my God. Point is, sometimes things get
Sometimes they be
dragged because
dragging
they
it.
make money and employs people with jobs.
Hmm.
Is it your decision to decide when a story should be over? I feel like,
As the audience member, we don't have control over that unless like you
yeah.
have a really active
Yeah,
fandom.
I think you can disengage with the story,
Yeah.
but I think it's interesting that the creator was like, I don't know, maybe this should have been done.
Sometimes you just have to accept that people gotta make money and it is what
Yeah.
it is. And you just gotta disengage. And that's how I'd be living.
But I think it's also just an interesting comparison. We're just talking about like it makes me think of the show Gravity Falls and like a lot of people begged
They
Alex Hirsch.
wrapped
They
Gravity
begged he
all.
begged like people were begging Alex Hirsch to do another season. Like I rumors that Disney was like do another season and that
He was like,
at one point
nah.
he wanted to end it at season 1 and Disney was like please just like give a conclusion. Season 2 done. Like I think people sometimes are so used to seeing shows go on and on and on and on that they cannot accept a season 1 or just a 2-season thing and it's a wrap. I will say like more so I think that is somewhat more popular, but if you even look at shows like Stranger Things where they were supposed to be changing the actors every single season
Mm,
and then season 1 blew up and they were like
we're keeping y'all.
right. And now people have talked about how the quality of the story has lowered and lowered and lowered. And like, I don't
Mm.
know.
Yeah, I think we are straying a little bit away from the nostalgic
Yeah.
aspect of it, but it is
Pulling back.
similar. It is similar in the terms of like dragging things out to the point where the original essence of the
Right.
piece of media
And the
is
nostalgia
lost.
you once felt for it.
Yeah, it's like lost almost now.
And I think there's a sadness to people who truly loved it when it was like at
Yeah.
its, I guess, beginning or at its, whatever it was when it
Mhm.
started, it got lost.
Yeah, but that's like
Wrapping it back.
yeah, wrapping up. You ate that.
Thank you.
But honestly, I think that was kind of like the main arc of our conversation, kind of just exploring what nostalgic things are happening
Right.
right now, what we can do better, and kind of things of if
Ooh.
it goes wrong, what it
I
happens.
guess I wonder do you think there's a harm in nostalgia being coming back? Because I've also seen conversations of like 2000 skinny versus now skinny, and like 2000 skinny
Yeah.
is like borderline eating disorders. Like it's scary and it's
It's
wicked. So
I want to say
there's
I have seen content about it coming
yeah,
back.
and so also the conversation of we need to keep moving forward because some of these things are very harmful
Yeah.
and you know not, it isn't something to be glamorized or revisited. So I think,
Agreed. Like, here's the thing, because we're repackaging the same thing again and again, of course those like topics get like integrated back into our culture.
very true.
But if we innovated properly and we fixed what was wrong with the nostalgic past and made it nostalgic present, I feel like we could be moving in a better direction. But since
A lot of
we're
people,
in such like a
yeah.
mediated nostalgic space where it's like spoon fed to us nostalgia, we're not growing and we're kind of just being complacent in the past. I don't know. What are your
No, I was
thoughts?
gonna say it's bro. When you were saying all this, all I could think is that I haven't seen a single person like comment on like men's trends of like what their body looked like in the
Mm,
2000s and what it needs to continue to look like. And that's not really the conversation, but it's
mm,
interesting to me that when we do bring back nostalgia, it's when it comes to bodies at the very least, it's always focused on women.
mm.
And I don't know. I think that's just curious to me that I'm now realizing this in the moment
Yeah.
because I never seen like
Yeah.
2000 men's bodies like this needs to come back or
Yeah.
what even was it? I don't know what the standard was.
I don't know. For me, my image of like men beauty standard has always been that like Dorito triangle above arm look.
I think that's what men like though. Do women like that? I
I
don't
don't know,
know.
girl. But yeah, no, I think it's a really interesting point that you brought up, how it's very focused on women, but I think it's because we are often like the visual of
Oh,
the,
absolutely.
era.
No, you
Like you look back into nostalgia, you look back into pop culture, it's these, Destiny's Child, all these celebrities, Britney
yeah.
Spears,
Oh,
they are the poster
wait.
people of that era.
I will say this episode has been very interesting, and I'm curious, you guys watching, I'm breaking the fourth wall here. Are there any like nostalgic things that you have been reminding of listening to us? And like
Yeah.
comment that down below. If it's like a product, a TV show, like something that you feel, you know,
It's important to your
maybe
childhood,
should
to your
even come
development.
back.
Yeah.
And even like TV shows that you guys enjoyed that feel like you didn't like get the full attention because I know I just remembered I was watching clips of Rugrats, but like when they were like teenagers
Mm.
and like it was like Rugrats all grown up, and that show was like I remember thinking that show was too. So there's different. I think also media of the 2000s like gets lost as well,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
interesting. But yeah, guys, I'm just curious to hear from you, and now we're gonna be doing our little bit. So of course I have to do a throwback song, like it actually has to be done considering the theme in this episode. So, guys, my song recommendation is going to be Motivation by Kelly Rowland and Lil Wayne, which is a
Ooh.
throwback. This was like one of the songs that really should have propelled Kelly Rowland further, but this song is so catchy and I want to hear it in the club.
All right,
Please.
her.
Yes,
My
on to
little bit.
you.
So here's what I recently learned on TikTok, and I feel like a lot of people know this information, so I'm not sure if I'm just regurgitating,
Well, let's see.
but everybody knows that libraries are a very abundant resource, right?
Mhm.
Like we have librarians, like libraries not only just loan out books, they loan out video games, movies, but did you know that libraries, some, depending on the like state and budget, may also loan out like hardware tools, ladders, paintbrushes to help with your home
What?
device. They may also loan out technology, like they may loan out laptops and
Yeah, I
cameras
did
and
know that.
tripods.
Wait, can I add something in?
Yeah.
Also, a lot of libraries, if you get the Libby app, you
Mm-hmm.
can scan your library card and access a whole digital library.
Yeah. So if y'all want to, play around with, using public resources, getting back into digital media, playing around with like technology without having to go out of your way and buy it and just testing it out first, check out the library. Very fun, very cute.
Yes.
Like epitome of like early 2000s. Like, I don't know what I'm doing after school. Let's head to the library.
Bro, you're reminding me my dream job was working as a librarian. I really want to work at a library. So if
Mm,
any nearby libraries are seeing this and you want to hire me,
yeah.
please, I will work there. I will.
Yeah, I personally haven't used the library up to its fullest potential, but I definitely, now that I'm going back to school, I really want to get more active in like local libraries and all of that. So just wanted to share some, fun public resources with y'all. So yeah.
Yes, I love that. And guys, we're really wrapping up this week's episode. So I want to say shout out to Bobby
Bobby.
and shout out to the Humanities Department. And we will see you next
Next
Thursday.
Thursday. Bye.